The XRP,
They will hate when XRP does this. So look at this. XRP is now battle tested. Don't lose focus on Ripple's bedrock in the new financial system. It still will take maybe 1 to 3 years for XRP to fully go mainstream, basically being on the technological companies, but it is a nice start in that way for where it's going right now.
Jazzy Cooper, in my opinion, is
Yeah.
going to be that new, younger version of David Schwartz. I've listened to this girl talk a lot. She is extremely intelligent, and in my opinion, really understands where the XRP ledger needs to go over the long run. It's one thing to have a really smart dev who sees the entire cryptocurrency space and is really deep in all the innovation and all of that stuff. But if you don't see the bigger picture of how financial institutions are actually going to interact with this technology, it doesn't really matter. I talk about this all the time.
You got to realize that a lot of people still don't understand what XRP actually does. And it's basically trying to become the new payment system. And it's trying to actually get away from crypto. A lot of banks don't want to do anything with crypto. That's why it's trying to become the technology center for a lot of these projects.
On the channel, I can build the best blockchain tomorrow, something faster, better, cheaper than every other blockchain out there. Can I actually build that tomorrow? No, of course not. But say I did. Would that suddenly mean that every single institution that's working with Ripple is going to come over and work with my blockchain? Absolutely not. In fact, I probably couldn't get any of them to.
And the thing is, you need to build these partnerships like for 3 to 5 years, at least 3 to 5 years. A lot of these partnerships that Ripple has nowadays. And again, if you get one big key partnership, then you can have the others as well.
The simple fact of the matter is my chain isn't battle tested. I don't have anyone who's going to help them onboard. I don't have the capabilities to devote tech resources to building out solutions they're actually going to use. All of these things are huge problems. And it's one of the things that Ripple has been solving for the past decade. But I want you to listen to Jazzy Cooper actually talk about this because I think it's really going to help you understand Ripple's in a much different spot than the rest of
the thing is, even if you build the same product as Ripple, you can't even have the same type of partnerships yet.
Chains launching. I think that's a short way to put it. How do you kind of see XRPL differentiating itself from kind of the pack and all of these different ones that are coming in and out and everything in between?
Yeah. Honestly, I've been excited by the news of a number of different L1s purpose-built, for payments and institutional finance. I think, XRPL was arguably the first blockchain purpose-built for payments over a decade ago, as I mentioned, and seeing others come on the scene is only validating of, hey, we're all working on the right use cases. We're all in it together in terms of this industry, and creating an opportunity for blockchain, which is superior technology to the traditional legacy financial rails, to truly take place and start to support these use cases. And so I see us all as one team in a way, in terms of disrupting some of the old technology that just isn't meeting the needs of institutions and their customers. In terms of XRP,
it's super expensive nowadays to have any type of technology anyway for XRP.
Differentiating, it's battle tested. We've been doing on-chain payments for a decade. The network is highly reliable, it's durable, has not had a hack, is still operating at the highest levels of efficiency from a cost.
So yeah, they've been already doing it for 1 decade. Who knows what will happen next, right? When will it finally go live? I feel like they're trying to basically build it for worldwide adoption.
And speed standpoint. And then in terms of use cases, I mean, it's a privilege to have our customers right next door in terms of building payments infrastructure for our payments team, building general blockchain infrastructure for our stablecoin, for our custody team, and now for Hidden Road. So I think bringing all of these pieces together to be able to offer a true, one Ripple solution to real problems in the market, is really what sets us apart from.
So there's the key thing that I don't think enough other projects are focused on that really differentiates Ripple and the XRP ledger. It's not just about the XRP ledger being great. It's about bringing actual application to the XRP ledger. Look at some of the other great blockchains out there, things like Solana. Solana is a great technical blockchain. Like, it goes down a lot. Yes, I understand that. That's a problem. But look at what it's being used for. There's not a lot of real use cases being used by the Solana.
That's what I feel like a big problem in crypto is. There's a lot of these projects that they don't know what they're doing. They don't know what's going on. They don't know what's happening. And suddenly they got a large influx, of new holders. and they didn't know what to do with it, so they fell down. They crashed.
On a blockchain. And the reason for that ultimately is just because there wasn't ever an application really put in front of that chain in the same way Ripple has put the XRP ledger in front of actual real world problems. Moving money, settling value, in front of Hidden Road, in front of people like Rail. What Ripple is doing is actually
That's what the banks notice, actual technology that they cannot ignore. And they saw that actual technology that Ripple is offering.
putting use cases to work with the XRP ledger, giving XRP defined utility in solving real world problems and being impactful to businesses. This is something that is so much more important than many people understand. It's been one of the biggest problems with the blockchain industry. There's all this great tech, but it's super complex and really hard to use. And if you don't have someone actually
And the issue is a lot of this technology that was built like maybe 2018, it's outdated now already. Because the technology is advancing so fast, it's a competitive sector. You really don't have anything to offer like XRP. That's why some of these crypto projects from 2018 cannot follow the same path as XRP, because XRP kept developing even when they were not profitable. A lot of these projects could only handle now 10 transactions a second, while Ripple can, or 15 transactions a minute, while Ripple can hold 15,000. No joke. And are much cheaper as well.
building these solutions and being crypto native who understands the problem
Because XRP kept developing.
fix it, you ultimately end up with a technology that's just
When do you think we will see the utility from Gemini XRP card? So I just saw this now. Gemini XRP card is just a way, like they sell it through Gemini, I'm guessing. I didn't really check it out. But people will just use it, as same as any other cards.
is not being utilized because there's not enough people who understand the application and how to implement the technology to solve the problems to get mass adoption. Ripple's strategy has
So XRP is the foot in the front door to the technology. Different way to look at it. Exactly. XRP is the main point to technology. It's not like another coin. That's why I kind of like it more than the others, really, because it's just not the same thing. What do you think would have happened if everyone that bought Bitcoin held it and never sold? It would be worth a lot more, but it would probably worth like 20 million. But if you can't sell it, there's no point. No, I don't think many people would buy it. So maybe it would be worth, who knows? Maybe it would be stopped at 100K, right? Because you can never sell it.
always been the correct strategy. Go to the biggest institutional players on earth, work with them to incorporate the technology, and then you have a network effect that trickles down to everyone else using that tech stack. In my opinion, this is 100% over the money. And it's something that a lot of people have just really completely missed out on. They look at Ripple as some bad player. They look at Ripple as some evil person. But at the end of the day, Ripple is one of the only people who is actually doing things right. Everyone else just expects all these different things to just show up on the chain. And BlackRock is just going to say, you know what, we'll just go do this. We'll use our own devs to go build this out. No, they're going to want a partner to help them build these things and integrate in the ways they want to integrate. And that's what the XRP led.
They're not going to stop at any point. They already have a fixed plan on what to do, and the banks will work it. They don't need, the XRP's utility is probably going to be to facilitate these transactions by Burns.
Has been doing. It's battle tested, like Jazzy said. And on top of all of that, it's one of the few cryptocurrencies in the entire market that, in my opinion, is built correctly. Now, I want to talk about exactly what that means in terms of built correctly, because I also think it causes a lot of FUD to come to XRP as well. Andrew Zell tweeted this out earlier today, and I think it's really interesting.
One truly removed the middleman except for XLM. That's true. That's why they're applying for their own bank. They want to automate everything. Just we see nowadays, the bank, it's really going to be automated in that way.
He said XRP is the most hated because it's the only one that truly removes all middlemen. There are no miners, no stakers to earn rewards in the middle. Miners and stakers represent friction, whether people are like it or not. This is why they can't stand XRP. And I think this is such an interesting point. When you take a look at the rest of the cryptocurrencies out there, despite the fact that it is negative for their long-term security, they have these different models to incentivize different people to be there. Miners, stakers, all these different people who essentially seek rent on the platform. This is a huge issue, in my opinion, that Ripple has really been ahead of since the beginning. When it comes to the Bitcoin blockchain, miners are essentially providing the security of the chain itself. But those miners,
The issue is like the electricity cost, you know, just same like Ripple had to do the same thing really when they had to sell XRP for the lawsuits.
are only there because they're being rewarded to be there. Right
That's
now,
also
we see a
true.
lot of miners choosing to essentially move their hash power to data centers and AI because it's a more profitable endeavor than mining Bitcoin. In Ethereum, you essentially have a situation where BlackRock is going to release an Ethereum ETF and all these other institutions, and they're going to amass huge amounts of Ethereum that give them the power over the Ethereum chain. And that's the huge problem right now with how some of these networks were built. They were essentially built with the idea of let's just make everyone a whole bunch of money through these different reward mechanisms. But when you actually analyze how these reward mechanisms work, it creates a lot of long-term problems and frictions for the chain.
I think that's what Ripple really wants to solve. The banks pay that. The banks pay the employees, right? The banks pay like extra Ripple's ongoing cost, and everybody wins, which in the terms is what Swift is doing right now. So they're just trying to take the market share. While Bitcoin, you need to get more buyers in. Nobody's going to pay for that except the miners and the fees. It makes total sense.
Talk about it. But it's really important to understand that there's really not a player out there that understands this industry at a deeper level than the people at Ripple. If you take a look at how Ripple has made their moves, they've been calculated and extremely intelligent. While the rest of the cryptocurrency industry goes right, Ripple goes left. And in my opinion, that has been one of the best things Ripple has been able to do since the beginning.
And a lot of people have called out XRP. Oh, you joined the banks. You should never have joined the banks for crypto. And XRP completely distanced itself from cryptocurrency except the XRP coin. Ripple has nothing to do except XRP, the technology, and that's what the banks love.
This is going to play into the price of XRP. Well, let's take a look at something, guys, that I think is going to be a huge catalyst for the entire cryptocurrency industry. Take a look at the amount of ETFs right now. Crypto ETFs that are slated to go live at some point this year.
So yeah, I feel like a lot of these will be for the XRP ETF as well.
Guys, there are a ton of XRP ones on this list, as you could likely imagine. XRP
Now, the issue I have with this, no BlackRock, but I'm still very happy. You know, whatever XRP ETFs we have, it's still a major potential.
XRP, a bunch of XRP. We got Solana, we got Litecoin. There's a whole bunch of XRP ETFs that aren't even shown here. I think there's a total of 18. Ethereum, so many different ETFs are about to hit the public markets.
This is just the new wave of people coming in, like a new wave of potential buyers, which is the big news. It's all XRP here. That's why I was calling October is so big. October, November. Guys, this is what I've been telling you. So yeah, if you want, pause the video and watch it again.
Currency IPOs. Right now, we're kind of in the calm before the storm. Everything is getting ready to gear up big time. Big money is on the sidelines ready to deploy, and we are about to have one of the biggest crypto marketing events for the largest money on earth the world has ever seen. Guys, hold on tight. Things are getting very exciting. Thank you so much for coming. I hope you.
So yeah, it's very clear that the ETFs are going to be another potential market pump for XRP. Guys, if you want more content like this, smash that like button. I'll keep you guys updated with more news. Love you all.